Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah.
It's your favorite vertically challenged orthopedic surgeon on your favorite Podstar podcast. I'm a Podstar, not a doctor. I go by Cuff Daddy, and I got my guy here,
the American Pharaoh.
So we're just here to fuck around. You might accidentally learn something, but I'm sure you know the gist of the show. What's going on, Sharif? Why do you always look so tired?
Always. That's rude. I am tired today. It's been a long day. I've operated a lot and I'm exhausted, but I'm excited to see you. And then I see you and then you say always tired, which makes me feel like shit. Single tear. No, it's all good. I'm just tired, man. It's been a busy week, even with the day off. It just seems like I've been off all week because of the holiday on Monday. And it's just like I got to work Tuesday. Tuesday just took a second. I kept on thinking, what day is it? Then Wednesday came. Now I'm in the OR today, and then clinic tomorrow. It's been a weird week. It's been a good week, but a weird week.
This has happened to me multiple times, and this is a true test of your character. So did you yell or no?
Nope.
That's good. Can't yell. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been punched in the face?
While working?
No, just in your life.
Oh, yeah. Who hasn't?
See? Me too. You know who hasn't? It's those doctors that lose their shit because they're mean and they yell to nurses, and then the nurses are afraid of doctors. And I'm always like thinking, like, when I hear about these things, I'm like, I bet you that dude's never been punched in the face. Because if you live your life and you get punched in the face and you know that that's a possibility and you remember how that shit hurts, you don't really like mess with people you don't know with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll give you that. I will say, though, that like I did get very upset at one point in time because I kept on. I didn't get the equipment that I'd asked for, and they said, "Oh, this is what we have." And one of the reasons why I was upset during my first case was because they didn't have the consent right. They didn't have the case right. They didn't. There's a lot of not rights, but case went great, and she's going to do wonderful. But in a moment of using a particular product I don't normally use, I got mad. And I just said, I threw it on the ground. I was just like, I just don't want to see this thing anymore. And honestly, after that, I was like, God, that was a dick thing to do. Even though it was me, I didn't yell at anybody, but I was just more upset for the patient because I wanted to do it a particular way. Long story short,
it's always for the patient.
Yeah, I apologize to everybody. I go, that's just not my normal demeanor. I apologize, and I owned it. But you're right. It's like but how great would it be if you could just punch somebody in the face? Like you could just
not the
get
point
to
of the conversation. I don't condone violence.
No, it is the point of the conversation because some
Uh-huh.
people, but you're right. Some people deserve to get punched in the face so that they can then maybe be nicer later. Because
I mean, if nurses could punch doctors in the face for being a dick,
that'd be amazing.
Maybe they should be allowed to punch you in the face. That might be a thing. Maybe will fix the healthcare system.
How about tasing?
And then the nurses would say, how many doctors have you punched? I got 36, player. And the other guys, I got 42. And I punched the little one in the face too.
Are you the little one?
Yeah.
Does that come for two? I mean, that's kind of rude to punch a little person.
Yeah, I get frustrated if something's like that happen, because I want everything to be perfect with the patient. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the hospital, man. There's a lot of moving parts. The nurses got stuff going on, the techs got stuff going on, the sterilization stuff. At any point in time, one thing can happen, and then it causes a ripple effect, and now you're an hour behind, right? So then and it's not. you're just trying to be efficient. And I think that like, so I think some of the frustrations that the doctors go through are good. I just think that a lot of us need to like learn to deal with it. And I think I'm pretty good at it. I think like I really kind of do like a deep breath, and I kind of try to like, all right, guys, what's going on here? Cause my thing is just, I'm scared. I don't want to be like known as a mean doctor.
No, I know, and I've cultivated a good rapport with the staff and a good reputation and all this stuff. And I'm at one of the new hospitals, so I'm very careful. But at the same time, it's like when things boil over, it is sometimes you have no control. Like I've been there before where I see red and I don't even know what words are coming out of my mouth because that when they have a C-arm in the room and they hit the lady in the face with the C-arm that I never asked to have in the room, and they break her orbit.
Oh
And
no.
oh yeah, and then they tell me, oh, but you want this for every case. I'm like, I've never in my life used a C-arm during surgery for a total shoulder, not once. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I got in trouble because they broke her face. Like, it's stuff like that. That's the stuff that drives me crazy. But I mean, that was years and years and years ago, and so I'm more upset that I've put myself in a position to look like an asshole. And I'm going to own it because I'm older, more mature, I'd like to think. But it is frustrating because at the end of the day, our goal is to take care of the patient. And you're right. There's a lot of moving parts.
But
There's a,
we got more on our shoulders though, because the patients meet us, right? They're coming to clinic, they meet you, they found you online, they got referred, they heard these great things, right? Then they're like, you talk to them, then they get this trust, right? So you know that like if you're operating on somebody, they let their trust, they trust you. And so
mhm.
you're already worried about just the base, even if everything goes well, you're still worried about complications, maybe like a dislocation, maybe an infection. So you're already holding all that. And now you bring these patients to the hospital and the surgery center. So like they expect that you've vetted these places, right? That it's a safe
Mhm.
place that you like to operate. So yeah, I mean, and that's why like the team situations are really good. You got to make sure you got a good team and you get the right people. So, I get when people get frustrated when they don't have their great tech or their PA or whatever, because they want everything to go smooth. And a lot of it is just because we want to do a good job for the patient, because we want them to have an awesome result and everybody wins, right? But those little, yeah, I feel like at any point, like people are just trying to sabotage you constantly, but it's not on purpose, I think.
I don't think it's on purpose, but it is ironic how each person plays a part in this long chain that gets you to an operating room through surgery. It's almost, and I hate to say this, but it's almost like when it goes without a hitch, you're like, how did that happen?
Oh
Because
yeah.
there's so many different places that it could have fallen apart.
Well,
There's
that's when you
so
like
many moving
you
parts.
do the cuff daddy dance. You're like, that's what it is. That's how we do it, and
No,
everyone's having a good time.
I'm actually terrified when it's perfect and then you get that X-ray and it's gorgeous and it looks like it should be in a manual or something. I'm like, uh-oh, because
Man,
I swear to you, the times that it looks perfect and everything went great is the time you'll be like, oh, you got like a suture abscess from one of the portals. It's like, are you kidding me? The case was perfect. Case was like 18
that's not,
seconds. It went great.
dude. It's not like that. Maybe it's just like you're being in the negative juju, dude. It's not like that.
Maybe just today. I'm tired.
That's why
I
it's
and
it's
but
just
I didn't
it's
get
a
punched
fight.
in the face.
It's a
I didn't get
daily
punched.
fight. I mean, I pretty much train like a fighter, because I feel like, you got to be so alert in surgery and up all the time. You see me training, bro. You see me on my tonal. You see me hitting the
I see me
bags. I know you
rolling.
follow me on
They hate
Instagram.
it. Oh, sorry. So, but you know what I did? The first thing I did when I got home,
uh,
got on the Peloton.
the Peloton, dude.
I
You
just,
got to start boxing. You got to start boxing. Boxing's a good
I should
workout.
start boxing. I shadow box. I like,
You should.
I,
That's pretty good
I,
too.
yeah, I punch the demons that are like in my head.
Boxing is great, dude. Muay Thai fighting, jujitsu. I don't know if you know Mike Stone. What up, Mike Stone?
Yeah.
Mike Stone is a jujitsu fighter, and that dude competes. And, I used to do that too, but I'm so scared to get hurt, right? Like, I mean, contact sport and you're an orthopedic surgeon. Like, what if I tweak my wrist, tweak my finger, or something like that? So I just hit inanimate objects that are soft, like bags.
But be careful. We all treat the boxer's fracture of a guy that doesn't know how to throw a punch, and then you like get an X-ray, and you're like, "What did you do?" I go, "Who'd you piss off?" They're like, "It was a punching bag." I'm like, "Urgh."
No, it's always the wall. I punched the wall. It's like, why
"Oh,
would
it's
you punch
always
the
punching the
wall?
wall. It's always punching the wall." But you gotta get it out somehow. I mean, because there are days like today where I'm just like, I'm so glad to be home. I'm so glad to be here. And rather than grab a beer, I grabbed my water and I'm going to rehydrate because I've literally felt like I haven't drank a thing all day. And so I'm going to kind of recalibrate myself, wake up tomorrow and start the grind again. But, you got to find your passion of what to do outside of medicine because it is a grind. It will wear you down. It will, mentally mess with you. And it's like, you just want to do the best for your patients. And in order to do that, you need to be healthy, whether it be shadow boxing, tonal, Peloton, meditation, reading, whatever. You got to do
Fighting
something.
fighting strangers in a gym. It's funny, like I don't know of any orthopedic surgeons that are like jujitsu like pros. Like we got a lot of pro baseballers, definitely people who were in the NFL that became ortho or maybe prospects. Not a lot of boxers, right? There is
Not a
one.
ton.
There is one, and he's actually going to be our guest today, but he was a semi-pro boxer like around the world. Do you know Hafiz Kassam?
I do.
So Hafiz Kassam is going to be our guest. He's one of our buddies. He is one of the top shoulder surgeons here in SoCal. He's out in Newport. He's in a group called Newport Orthopedic Institute, and I met him around the way. And he's a great guy. He's instantly likable. And when you talk to this guy, he's just like super charismatic. So we invited him on the show, but partly because we want to talk to him a little bit about his boxing career and kind of how he made it to ortho. And I also want to ask him a couple questions about this Tyson fight coming up.
Same. I want to know if if there are any prop bets that Jake Paul leaves in a body bag.
So let's bring him in. What up, Hafiz?
What's up,
We
bro?
were good. I was just trying to record a commercial and I blew it, but
Well, Hafiz,
You gave up on it.
you just like gave up sentence one. You're like, yeah, I'm done. Hafiz, hold on. We got a bet here. What nationality are you?
That's a losing bet, brother. So I'm mixed. So I was born in Canada. Right? I'm Canadian. My parents.
You're not Canadian.
I'm 100% born in Canada. Born and raised.
listen, that's part of the show.
That's like me saying I'm American. I was born in Cincinnati. Okay, keep going.
And then my parents and grandparents are from East Africa, so they're from Uganda. And then my great-grandparents on my dad's side are from Gujarat, so from northern India. And then on my mom's side are Iranian.
So we both were right, Cuff. He said Indian. I said no. He's of some sort of Arab descent.
Yeah, I got a mix going in.
That's
wanted
why
to
you have
talk
this
about that.
beautiful glow.
Yeah, he's in Newport, bro. That's exactly what we wanted to talk about. So you're living in Newport. We don't care about how you're an orthopedic surgeon and you're really good at shoulders and you're nationally renowned. I want to know how you ended up in Newport.
They called. so I got a job. So I was working in Sacramento. I took a job there. It was the first job I got out of fellowship. I wanted to be in California. My family was here. My sister works in Southern California too. So I got a job and it was in kind of rural northern Sacramento. I'm kind of being a little bit generous. It was a little bit more north than just Sacramento. So it's a little town called Yuba City. And I used to live in Roseville, Rockland, it's kind of like 30, 40-minute drive. And then I was kind of looking for a new job and somehow got connected with the guys down here in Newport. And they gave me a ring and said, hey, we're looking for someone to help build a shoulder program. Would you like to take a look? I did. And I mean, who doesn't want to live by the beach? So I just said yes.
Well, what's really hilarious is I'm looking at your background, and I think that's a fake background to the majority of people, but I can tell that's like real for you. So it's like the palm trees, you can see it. So there's a little bit of wind. It looks beautiful. But this is like some of those like COVID fake backgrounds.
Yeah, right. The virtual ones in the back.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, where does it rank? You've lived like all over the world, right? Like, where does Newport Beach rank?
Yeah. I mean, I love it here. Right? I never really want to leave. I mean, I really do enjoy it. So, so for me, I guess number one, right? Because I moved around a lot. So I think if I'm in a position where I don't want to leave, I should probably say it's number one. So I think for me, it's number one.
Yeah, your practice is listening right now, saying, "Wait, he doesn't love it here." So, all right, where have you lived?
So I grew up in Vancouver. So I grew up there, finished high school there. Then I did undergrad in Scotland. So I went to St. Andrews. So I was there for 3.5 years, and then I moved to England, and then I was in Manchester. So I went to med school at the Manchester Royal, was there for about 3 years. And then I went back to Toronto, did residency. Then I was in New Haven. So I did Yale fellowship at Yale. And then I was in Sacramento or, Northern California for 3-4 years. And then now I'm here.
So being in Canada for residency does not require the 3 fellowships to come back to the States, correct? That's only like truly foreign.
Yeah, so Canada doesn't require that, but I wrote all the exams. So I wrote all the Canadian boards, all the American boards. I wrote all the steps, all the Canadian equivalents of steps, and then I wrote my Canadian orthopedic boards exams. So I'm board certified in Canada, and then I did all my U.S. boards here too. So like board ones and
Cuff. He's
Yeah, if
like
you would've
board
just
certified
waited-
internationally.
yeah, I did a lot of exams.
If you'd have just waited till 2024, you don't even have to take tests now to get into med school. They just let you in. There's no
They just
test.
showed up. Yeah, pass or
You
fail.
just show up. Yeah.
They don't even
I mean,
interview.
Yeah.
This is
everyone
true.
could be
There's a lot
doctor.
of schools that don't interview. They're just like, you apply, they're like, oh, he writes a nice essay. Cool.
So we were talking a little
I
bit
used-
before on the intro about people who got punched in the face. Just before I forget, have you ever been punched in the face?
A few times.
Danny says that people who don't get punched in the face tend to be bigger dicks. And they tend to be
People who
mean. Who don't. So, like, they take advantage of people, yell and scream. And I kind of agree with them. And because there's an unmistakable feeling and sound to getting punched in the face. And so, therefore, it's like, if I'm a jerk, I might feel that again and hear that again. So I'm not going to be a jerk. That's our theory.
I think it humbles you. I think if it happens at a younger age, kind of in your teens, it definitely humbles you.
So over under punched in the face 20 times.
So I started boxing when I was 13.
Okay, so like 200
so
times.
For me, it's been a lot. A couple hundred.
Wait, so
I
how
would
did
say.
that come up? How did you start boxing? Was it because it's rough in Ireland? Like, you got like
No,
one of those,
Ireland was
like,
college.
rich
This was
stories?
Vancouver.
Yeah, so I don't really know where it started from, to be honest with you. I probably saw some really bad B movie, and then I think I told my dad, "Oh, hey, I want to learn to box," and I think I was like 12 or 13. I went to a very like uppity, all boys prep school type thing, so it was not an accepted thing to do. So I just learned outside of school. So there's in Vancouver, there's I don't know how bad it is now, but when I was growing up, there is the worst intersection probably in the country. It's in the corner of East Hastings and Maine. And on the corner, there's a motel, right? It's rented by the hour.
Nice.
That type of motel. On the bottom floor was a bar, and in the basement was a gym. So that's where I went. That's what my first gym I went to, and that's where I learned to fight. So then I just started going there like 3-4 times a week. Got to know all the locals at this interesting intersection and motel, and I just started fighting. And then when I took it pretty seriously, and then I boxed in Scotland for about 3 years, did pretty well. I thought I was going to have a different career path than maybe I currently do. And I was qualified for I trialed for the Commonwealth and did all those stuff. And I had a coach who was like, "Hey, you're good, but you're really not that great. So you should probably try to find some other avenues if you can go to school." And then so I did. And then my sister was in med school, so then I moved to England. And then
So Hafiz, when you okay, this is like I think an epidemic in society right now where people like gaslight you and tell you how great you are until somebody's like, "Yeah, you're not." And so like it sounds like you were very good, but of course to get to that next level you have to be remarkable. I mean, in anything we do, especially like even in shoulders, there's different levels, but with you, I mean, how many times were you being told, okay, you could have a career, and then this guy out of nowhere is like, nah, maybe something else?
I mean, I think it was also a different time, right? I think when you, especially as you grow up like an immigrant family, I mean, essentially I'm first generation, and it was not something that everyone was very supportive as a career choice, right? So I didn't actually hear that you could make it very often. I was kind of I'm good. I can do this. This is what I want to do. And I think hearing it from someone who's supposed to be your cheerleader, right? Like your coach, your person who's saying you should really take a long look at where you want to be in 10 years. I mean, I have a lot of friends that I grew up with, and to be honest,
I feel like you got to be violent.
They didn't, right? So they're still trying to make it. I mean, what was going to happen, right? I was going to go to some type of pseudo amateur games, probably not medal. Then you turn pro, then you take casino fights for $3,000 a pop, and then you're 35 and punchy. I mean, realistically, right? That's where I was looking at.
Yeah.
And I think that someone was honest enough to say, hey, if you can do something else, you should probably do something else. And at least I was smart enough to take the advice.
You didn't have enough anger. You're too happy. You're too happy to be a fighter. These dudes are angry. You know, they're like, they want to hurt people. I feel like you help people. You're not trying to hurt people. You think that's what held you back?
He's drinking a cappuccino and it's sunny out. He's like pinky out,
bro. And he's a boxer. That's what I'm saying. That's like, he just hits you with that. Like, you can't figure him out. He's like the most interesting man in the world.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and he's got a cool beard. Like, I was like trying to make mine like his more, but I can't grow like that full chin.
It's the double side.
It's trying to be like
See, yours is how you're way younger than me, and that's when like I'm getting a little white blotchy silverback kind of beard, whereas like yours is like thick and black and looks like you have a stencil that probably gets done 3-4 times a week.
Looks like makeup.
Well, I actually found the guy here who lines me up really well. It's like it's right in Huntington
Told
Beach.
you.
Like it's like this. Yeah. It's exactly what you think it is. Everyone's got Spanish music playing. It's good. He lines me up a couple times a month. It's really good.
So at this barber shop or wherever, is there a lot of conversation about boxing? Do they know that you were a former boxer?
We don't really talk about it, but no, I mean the fights are always on. It's really good. I mean, it's the type of place you sit down and there's free beer in the fridge and they'll line you up and Harley's in the back. It's good. It's a good.
And he's like, "Where's this place? I'm coming."
No way, dude. I do my own. I can't afford to go to those barbers. It's like $40 every week to like line your beard up. So I just learned how to do it myself.
So we're not making enough on the podcast yet. So those listening, Danny needs $40 extra a week. Yeah. So we're going to start a GoFundMe.
Our sponsors aren't really hitting. You know what I mean? I keep messing up the commercials.
Well, that's on you because you can't do it.
Hafiz, so are you going to watch this? We were talking last episode about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Are you going to watch that? Are you still into boxing?
I think it's on Netflix, right? So it's free. So I think I'm going to watch it. I don't know if I would pay $90 to watch it, but I don't know.
It's Jake Paul. Jake Paul's like just random, but like he's fought so many people, and like I don't know if he's good or not because I'm not like educated in the sport. Like, can you tell me, is he good?
I mean, I don't think he's bad. I mean, I think, to be honest, right, the guy has a lot of money. He's got a lot of resources, and I think he's pretty much done nothing but try and learn how to box for the past, 4 or 5 years. And he's got probably personal trainers every day. So he's probably, and he seems pretty good. I think the problem is, like, I don't care if you're 30, 40, 70, or 80. Like, it's still Mike Tyson, right? Like,
exactly what I said. This guy,
at the end of the day, it's Mike Tyson. Like, I can't. I mean, it's brilliant, right? Because it gets a younger generation who wants to follow him. It gets an older generation who will like do anything to watch Mike Tyson get in a ring again.
It's going to make a boatload. I mean, that's the thing. I was reading that.
Keep the stats, bro. 10 fights, Jake Paul, 9 wins, 1 loss, 6 knockouts. Okay, Mike Tyson, 58 fights. He won 50 times, only lost 6 times, and he's had 44 knockouts. He's hit 44 people in the face and caused them to almost die for a little bit.
For a little bit.
For a little bit.
You're not wrong.
I mean, that's what
but
a knockout is, dude.
I know, but I was reading that obviously Jake Paul is the headliner in that fight based on, the promotion. And there are a significant amount of markers for Tyson that he has to hit to get paid. And if he knocks him out in the first 3 rounds, he doesn't get paid. It's almost like he's handicapping Tyson if Tyson wants to get paid. Tyson's doing just fine. So I hope he comes out 2 punches, first round, done. And he's like, I don't want your money. I'm good.
Because isn't it an exhibition? It can't go to points or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's hit somebody's ear off. This guy's gonna go into beast mode. You can't turn that off. He's an animal.
No. He's wired one way, and that's to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I obviously, age, but I mean, it's still Mike Tyson. I don't know. For the sake of a lot of people's childhoods, I hope Mike Tyson wins.
Well, Hafiz, I'll ask you this question. You've boxed. You know the story with Tyson. What is your number to get in the ring with him?
To get in the ring with Mike Tyson?
Yeah, how much would you need to make to risk bodily harm? Where he scrambles your brains and your chest. So what's the number?
Man. Higher than my disability policy, I guess.
Exactly.
Is the answer, but I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't know.
That's the thing, because everyone always asks, what's your number? It's I don't know. I'd say 10 million, but if I can't speak or spell after, what's the point?
Medical technology isn't that great right now. Until we get working stem cells and tissue regeneration, I'm not doing that. You couldn't pay me enough, because even if you had all the money in the world, you're still going to be fucked.
Yeah. Do I get to go in there with a taser too? Just tase him if he tries to come. But even then, I don't know. It just seems terrifying to me. I saw this thing where Tyson was warming up and he hit the bag 6 times in 1 second. And they were and this is now. And they're that's gotta hurt. No matter if you're covering yourself, you're gonna take some to the chest, take some to the gut, take some to the face. Within a second, I don't know. It's a man's sport. I'll tell you that.
Hey, so where does it compare, right? So we all do complex shoulder surgery, and you do really cool stuff. Where does doing a really hard shoulder surgery in the OR, life in your hands, how does that correlate with being in the ring and fighting somebody? Are the stresses the same? Which one's more stressful, and which one do you enjoy more?
I definitely enjoy surgery more. I think there's a correlation. I especially think if you're kind of in a world where you do, a lot of tough cases in one day, right? So I think that's the thing, right? Just constantly going round after round. I've definitely thought of that multiple times, and had that correlation in my mind, being wow, it really feels like I'm just doing round 1, round 2, today I did 8 cases today. It just felt like it went 8 rounds, right? Because it's just, you just keep going after it, right? So there's something there. You're not wrong. You definitely can. There's a correlation.
So it's real. I walk out of the OR some days, like today, where I feel like I was in a fight. And so I agree with what you're saying, but again, it's not grueling physically to operate. It can be tiring with what we do, but mentally, all the thought, when you're there, you don't realize it. Then you walk out of the hospital or the surgery center, you're like, holy smokes, am I tired? It is bizarre how there is such a mental toll after surgery. You've also done boxing. Which is tougher mentally, do you think?
Well, I think it doesn't matter what sport it is. I think a lot of people try to draw that comparison. I think the difference is that when you're boxing, you're playing sports, you're playing basketball, you're on the line. The issue with surgery is it's someone else.
Yeah.
Right? You can talk about, okay, yes, it's stressful on me. And at the end of the day, it's not really about you, right? It's about the person that you're trying to help or that is asleep and now you're trying to operate on. So for me, the stress is higher because, you can say what you want, but if things go bad, you still go home to your family and sleep. But like the person is in trouble. So I think the stress is different because you're dealing with someone who's trusting you to fix their problem and affect their life positively, as opposed to, I mean, if you get in a fight or if you're going to a boxing ring and you get knocked out, you get knocked out. That's your problem, right? But now you haven't affected someone else other than your. So I think that's the issue, right?
So do you think we should add like full contact surgery? So like if you're about to mess up, somebody runs in and just punches you in the face.
Yeah. Well, I think that'd be really bad for the person.
Yeah, dog. Who's gonna finish the shoulder?
Yeah, right.
Fair. You'd have to have like a bullpen. So like first dude gets knocked out, next dude up, and it keeps just going. But who would sign up for that?
So we just saw each other in Miami at Shoulder 360, so that was fun. I was telling Sharif, we were talking about your shoulder meeting, OC Shoulder. Tell us about that. What's up with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so that's kind of been like a passion project for a while. So when I was I had my job in NorCal. I used to run a meeting there called the Northern California Shoulder and Elbow Course, and then when we moved down here, we basically rebranded it. It's very much like a mom and pop thing. I run it with my wife. Actually, she runs kind of the backside of it. So it's really just meant to be something different. I mean, obviously 360 is an incredible meeting. It's 3 days. It's comprehensive. It's really meant to be the opposite, right? It's meant to be one day, right? So you try and find ways, I guess, to back up. You're trying to find ways to add value to somebody, right? And we have a lot of meetings, obviously in shoulder, which are big 3-day things, and 360 does it the best. But how can you offer value in a different way, right? So the problem with some of those things is you got to take time off work. You're still paying overhead, or you're taking PTO time off. It can be expensive for flights or all that stuff, right? So it's one day. It's on a Saturday. You don't have to take time off work. You're not missing overhead time. The other thing is you try to go to meetings, and we talk about these big name guys that you all want to meet, but sometimes you never really get to meet them, right? Because especially if you're not that well connected, it can be very intimidating to try and meet people. So the other thing this meeting tries to do is force the issue, right? So it's kind of set up like a bit of a wedding reception. It's all roundtable discussions all day. So if you come to the meeting, you're going to sit at a table with two of the people that we have headlined, right? So like, for example, last year Brian Cole talked about cuff augmentation, and Joe Bood talked about the subacromial balloon, right? So you're going to talk about cuff problems, but you're going to sit at a table with Joe Bood and Brian Cole, right? And you're going to talk about those topics with them directly, because you're forcing the issue, right? So you're forcing networking, you're forcing interaction. Because at the end of the day, we're orthopedic surgeons, right? Like, we can buy our own steaks. You can learn stuff off ViewMedi, right? What do you actually want? And what you really want and what you can't buy and what you can't get for yourself is very often a network, right? It's friends. So then how do you offer that to somebody? So that's the idea of OC, right? It's can you limit numbers? Can you make it small? Can you make it, for lack of a better word, intimate, and force interaction, have networking that actually offers value? Because if you sit at a table with somebody for 5 hours for a day, you kind of have to be their friend, right? Whether you really want to or not.
This isn't Tinder. This isn't Tinder for doctors. It sounds like Tinder.
Right? I mean, it's the idea. But if you
Tinder for shoulder surgeons.
If you leave a meeting, right? I mean, what do you?
Yeah.
You want to learn some stuff.
Cool.
But you also want to leave having met people. And that's the idea.
Yeah, I thought it was weird because I was like, the meetings take a lot of time, and we've got to give lectures, and it's like extra work, and I actually enjoy it. That's how I met you. That's how I met Sharif, and you really get better at your craft. But then I started to think, I was like, this is weird. Like, doctors go to meetings, but then I did some research, and a lot of people go to meetings in different. There's lawyer meetings, there's personal injury meetings, there's workers' comp meetings, and each of these groups of professionals, they kind of do what we do, and it's their own little vibe, and they all kind of network. So I think I didn't actually know that other professions did these meetings that we go to, but it was kind of I don't know if you knew that. You can go to all kinds of meetings. You could be a plumber, and there's plumber meetings with famous plumbers.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the cool next step, right? Is we do medical meetings, and yeah, we're learning how to do it, but other people do things well, right? And can we incorporate what they do to what we do, to make it entertaining, to make it fun, to make it more beneficial, right? right? It's probably the way it's going to work.
Dude, they got to change med school. If they can make med school fun, then damn, we could there'd be tons of doctors. But med school wasn't fun.
Med school was not fun.
Dude, I was gonna ask you. Oh, so I just wanted to do a little promo. We'll edit this out, dude. So thanks for helping out. For all you guys listening, Hafiz, Mr. He's got great ideas, and we're actually joining forces, and we're gonna be having a big event next May 2025 for National Shoulder Elbow Week. So all you residents and PTs and other doctors in the LA area, be on the lookout for promotion because it's gonna be a pretty good time, and it's gonna be in LA. So, stay posted on the podcast, and we'll give more info as we kind of get closer to that date.
No, great job, guys, with that, because I did the 2022 meeting in Detroit for that. And, I mean, what a blast it was. Raised a bunch of money for the foundation for the ASCS. So, good job. If you need help, let me know, because I still serve as a mentor on that committee.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really great. And I think, Dan, you've really taken charge of that. And I think having a cool meeting in LA that we can really leverage what LA has to offer, right? I mean, it's fun. It's cool. I think it's going to be a really great time. And I think people get behind it.
We got crime.
Cool.
We got sun. We got water.
Did
more
you see
crime.
You got crime?
Yeah, we got crime. There's a lot of crime in LA.
I'm going to go out there.
Sunshine, so it doesn't count, right? So
yeah, but you have Hafiz. If anybody comes in, he'll punch him in the face.
You know who we should punch in the face? Bobby. Let's bring Bobby on. Bobby, get on.
What an intro.
What's up, Hafiz? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm listening to this. I've been imagining and just visualizing all the times that you've been punched in the face, Cuff, throughout this entire conversation. It's been the best 45 minutes. I love it.
Cuff, have you ever been punched in the face and got knocked out?
No, that's scary. I've never been knocked out. I mean, I had a concussion snowboarding, so I know what that's like, but no. Wait, have you ever been knocked out, Hafiz?
No.
Listen to him. You hear that baller answer? He's like, no, motherfucker, no. Are you look at this specimen? You think I'm getting knocked out? That's what he's saying.
No, I could say that. No, I haven't.
All right, are you plant based, Hafiz? Or you? No, I sat next to you. You ate meat with me.
No, I eat a lot of meat.
All right, cool. So there's 2 meat eaters and 2 plant eaters. Then we got 2 herbivores and 2 carnivores. Got it.
I just love the way he answered that the exact same way. He's like, no, I didn't get knocked out. Yeah, I eat a lot of meat like this. So, Hafiz, anyways, the guys bring me on because I've been passed the torch of responsibility for the show this season to come up with a game every week with our guests. And I've been told for the past couple episodes I'm just doing a shit job. And so we're trying to make some tweaks and have some fun with it. I need to get these guys off my back a little bit. So we're going to have a little fun, a little something different we haven't done on the show before. I want you guys to work as a team here. And I need consensus answers on this, but we're going to do a little top 5 blind ranking and just see how things shake out here. So let me share. The only thing I'm concerned about here is I kind of threw this together and how I'm going to rank these out. So we'll see if I mess anything up. But we're going to do the top 5 on-screen doctors blind ranking. So again, you guys need to have a consensus answer. And we're going to see how great of a list you can put together. So first up, talking Dr. Greg House, MD. Where does he rank in your top 5?
I'm going to put him high. I like him at like 2 because he speaks to people like we want to, but know that we would be fired in a second.
So are we ranking this based on who we want to be, who we think the best show is? Like, how are we doing this? I think we need a little detail.
That's up to you guys to decide.
All right, okay.
I'm thinking all the above. Best overall on-screen doctor who portrays who you really want to be when you grow up.
So you want him at 1? I think
pretty high.
For him?
I would say we was in med school when I was, that was a thing, and I thought about internal medicine.
Let's put him at 2. You guys good with 2?
Two.
Yeah, maybe 3. I was thinking 4 for him. Like he's kind of low.
All right,
on my
3.
list. Like
3 is a good number.
All right, 3. All right, 3.
We're going to 3. All right. Greg House, number 3. Okay.
His
All
name
right,
was
let's see what
Greg. I never even knew that.
I mean, have you ever heard him speak off the show? Like, he has such a thick British accent.
Oh yeah.
I could not believe it. Like, once I find that out for the first time.
You should hear.
Well,
You should hear.
Hugh Laurie's a really good actor.
Yeah, Hafiz has a very thick accent. This is all bullshit right now.
Yeah, he's got a British accent.
That
He's
thick
just hiding
Canadian
it right
accent?
now.
Is that what we're talking?
Yeah.
He's like about and process and a.
Oh, shit.
I say A a lot.
George,
I-
Gregory House, eh?
That is a legitimate word. Okay, I will
What?
send that to the dad.
Dude,
That is
I live 20 minutes from Canada. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate word.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Doc number 2 in the blind rankings. You got Doogie Howser, MD.
Oh,
Ooh,
Doogie
dude.
Howser, bro.
NPH for the win right
going-
there.
I might. Well, there's a couple other ones. Should I put? Yeah, I'd probably put him 1 for sure.
Really?
I mean,
No,
dude, Doogie's
I was gonna
dope,
say
bro.
4.
I'm
Four
almost
for
sure.
Doogie?
I was gonna put 4. Yeah.
4. You're outvoted, Cuff.
I mean, who else is left? Okay, I'll go 4. But I'm just like, I'm already trying to think like, who else is left?
Or for Doogie Howser. All right. Okay.
Who's the
Dr.
Who's
McSteven's probably
the
gonna
Who's the
be coming up
cartoon?
soon.
Who's the Doc McStuffins? That's number 1.
No, I will caveat this. I did not want to mess around too much with this, so I verified that everyone on this list in their respected screen time is a medical doctor.
Okay.
Just so you know.
So you don't think? So you're saying Doc McStuffins is a fraud?
Correct. She
On
did
Disney?
not complete medical school.
Oh, okay. She just
Yeah,
fixed
that's
things. Okay,
verified. Yes.
Got it.
Well,
All
we
right, third
Steven.
doc.
Or McDreamy.
Or Hannibal Lecter.
Ooh.
Oh no, he's.
I don't think.
No.
I think that might be a pass. I mean, yes, he's a doc, but I mean,
He's
I don't
weird.
want him near anybody I know.
Hey, you got 5 spots. You got to put him somewhere.
6.
He's
Yeah,
5 then.
Yeah.
Put him on the.
He can go to
put him at the
5.
bottom.
Fuck this guy.
That was good. That was a good move though. I mean, I gotta say that was a good play. That was good. Well done.
All right. Number 4, also verified medical doctor, Dr. Evil.
Oh.
I told you. we
Graduate
should've
of
put
evil
Doogie's
evil
in.
medical school, apparently,
All right.
according to Wikipedia. So.
Let's
Can we-
move. Let's move 3 and 4 up to 2 and 3 and put Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
at
no, this is
4.
a blind ranking. You can't move them. This is where they
Oh,
are.
see?
That's stupid.
I mean, I kind of look like Dr. Evil already. We should just do 1. I
All
feel
right,
like we're
2.
gonna get a good one. Yeah, 2.
Yeah, you're gonna get Clooney at 1.
2. No, I did purposely do this for Cuff Daddy to show some love and appreciation and my respect for him and his judgment on doctors.
Turk.
So, who ended up being your number 1? Your boy,
Turk.
Chris Turk from Scrubs.
See, it's meant to be.
That's a solid one.
I thought about putting friend of the show, the Todd, in here, but I thought that Turk was the nice touch.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him better anyway. Turk was better.
That is.
I'm not
quite-
gonna lie.
That's
This list ended up better than I thought it would, to be honest with you guys.
That is a motley crew, I will say.
Oh man!
So you're gonna
that's
Bees. Oh, go ahead.
You're gonna have to screenshot that and post that to Instagram and see if we got it right.
yeah. We'll definitely lay this out for the followers and see what they have to say about it.
Crazy.
Hafiz,
That was
man.
actually that was good. That was good, Bobby.
Hafiz, if you were to add one more doc, what would you add, or who would you add,
As like the number 1 spot.
or anywhere? I mean, like who's left out? I think Clooney needed to be somewhere in there.
ER.
I guess I don't know the
McDreamy.
names, but the guys from Grey's
McDreamy or
Anatomy, right?
McSteamy, one of those fools.
McSteamy's Cuffs guy.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah.
Hafiz, dude, thanks for coming on the show and fucking around with us. I know you got to get back to your kids, and I know you're taking some time out from the fam. I just wanted to thank you for coming on. Hope you had a good time.
No, I appreciate being on. You guys are doing a really, really great job with this stuff. So I appreciate the invitation and see you guys soon.
All right, my man. Don't get punched in the face.
I'll try my best.
I like
Have a
that
great
little
one, brother.
callback.
Soon.
I like that callback. It's nice.
You like that? You like that? I came back. I came
Yeah.
back.
It's called a callback, like
Um,
in comedy. You don't know a lot of stuff.
Happy.
Cuff, that's a callback of when we talked about callbacks like 12 episodes ago. That was fantastic.
I know. He's when we had a comedian on. All right. Well, real quick, if Hafiz is still here, anything you want to tell us before you go? I know you're taking over the current concepts in Vegas in November. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think anyone listening who's kind of interested in hands-on stuff. So the other meeting that's happening is that Critical Concepts course in Vegas. So that's again, kind of a unique niche meeting, 3 days, but all hands-on, right? Because one of the few meetings where we can actually go somewhere and say, hey, I spent my money, I spent my 3 days, but I actually did everything in shoulder, not just kind of listen to the experts about it. So it's kind of a pretty interesting course. Day one's technology, so robotics. Navigation, PSI, everything new. Day 2 is sports and elbow, and day 3 is arthroplasty. So that's going to be a really great meeting. It's November of this year, November
Awesome.
14th.
No wonder this man is busy. He's like running like 22 meetings, boxing on the side, got his kids, and living in a perfect place.
And spending like 8 to 10 hours a week getting lined up. I mean, that thing looks clean. So.
Shit is tight.
It's tight.
All right, brother. Well, until we see you again, thanks for coming out, my friend.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
See you, Hafiz.
See, that was fun.
That was funny.
Let's see. All my friends are fun.
Well, he's my friend too.
Is he though?
I guess not. I guess not.
I'm just
I guess
teasing.
if
You're
yes,
so sensitive. Look, you're so sensitive.
I'm not sensitive. I'm cool. If he doesn't like me, that's cool. I'll punch him in his face. No,
I'm just kidding because I'm trying to claim him as my guest. That's all I'm saying. Jeez.
No, you can have him as a guest. He can be your guest. That's cool. I'll give you that. No, he's a good dude. And when we were at Shoulder 360, he was sitting next to me at the white party, and we were bullshitting the whole time. And he told me he was from Uganda, and I was like, "What?" Like I didn't know anybody was from like Uganda. Like, you're the first Uganda person. I was like, Ugandanese? Is that what it is? And no, he's such a good dude. And he's so like eclectic.
Yeah, I know. He's awesome. I'm telling you, he's the most interesting man in the world. Well, you heard it first. We got the real most interesting man in the world in the field of orthopedics, Hafiz Kassam, Dr. Kassam. This is me signing out. Peace.
Who is me? I am
Why
me.
don't we do that?
Go ahead.
All right. It's your boy Cuff Daddy signing out.
And it's your boy American Pharaoh, and I'm out too. Find us where you find your socials at I'm a Podstar, not a doctor. Also find us on YouTube, as now we have our full shows on YouTube. So until we see you again, bye.
Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah.